Hey guys, it's Nathara at CrowSong Lodge, and I am actually going to record a helpful video for you guys this time. I'm going to talk about what is sympathetic magic and what does that mean? How does it work? So you guys may or may not have heard this term going around, but sympathetic magic is magic that is based on the idea that because this thing is like that thing, what I do to this thing will affect that thing. And it's the most common magic system in the entire world. Even going back in time, before the internet, before global colonization, most indigenous peoples and magic systems out there were using some kind of sympathetic magic. And we see this, I think the most common example of sympathetic magic is the puppet in European or Celtic magic, or the voodoo doll in Haitian magic. They're very similar items, not exactly the same, but they're similar and they're used in sympathetic ways. In case you're not familiar, I will put pictures up, but a puppet is just a doll that represents a person, and so is a voodoo doll. And so the idea behind the puppet and the voodoo doll is that whatever I do to this doll is going to happen to the person it represents. It doesn't necessarily need to be a mean and nasty thing, because puppets and voodoo dolls can also be used for healing. It can also be used for success, and I can also make a voodoo doll or a puppet to represent myself. So they're not all bad, so don't get all like creeped out or anything. But that's the basics behind them. And puppets are very much the same thing. In fact, corn husk dolls were also used this way by a few different cultures, but not all of them. Corn husk dolls are very common among North America, Central America, and South American cultures. There's a lot of different cultures on those continents, so not all of them use corn husk dolls for magic, but some of them did, and they used them in a very similar way. We also use photographs this way, where if you take a photograph of someone or something, and this is usually a lot easier to do if you want to affect a building or a place this way, you might take a photograph of it, and then you're going to do your magic on that photograph, and the idea is that your magic, through magic, what you do to that photograph will affect the actual real life object itself, be it person, place, or thing. So that is the basics of sympathetic magic. Now, of course, the more similar those two objects are, the stronger the effect and the easier your magic will be. And the more dissimilar those things are, then the more work you're going to have to put into it and the more energy you're going to have to generate. So in a pinch, I could simply write down someone's name. I could say, I could put Becky's name on a piece of paper and then do stuff to that piece of paper to make things affect Becky. That's going to take a little bit more energy than if I had a doll and I crafted it very carefully to look exactly like Becky. And if I wanted to go a step further, I could actually get a personal belonging of Becky's, or like a lock of hair or fingernail clippings, to make that doll even more similar to her, and that would make an even stronger link. We do this a lot even in candle magic. You'll see a lot of different, especially modern systems in candle magic, where we will write or carve people's names or places' names into a candle and then pray over them and use them in ritual or spells. And that too is sympathetic magic, because we're making that candle into a sympathetic representation of that. So it also applies in different elements that we use in magic too. And that's how color associations got to be there. So red is like fire, which is like passion, or green is like nature, which is like life, which is like healing. So that's how those color associations got to be there in candle magic and other various forms of magic, because we also use like colored threads, and sometimes we use like colored pens or other colored objects in magic, and so the color associations are also themselves a form of sympathetic magic. In addition, we have things like cowrie shells are really popular to use in magic, and they are a part of sympathetic magic because various island cultures as well as African cultures and a couple South American cultures use cowrie shells as money or as representations of the vagina. And so these things can still be used in magic today because they were money at one point, and so they can be used as representations of money in the current magic system. So if you want more money, you can use cowrie shells in place of that instead. Just as the way that you can actually use coins, because this coin is money, it can represent even more money. And this kind of operates on like attracts like. So even though this is only 50 cents, it can attract a lot more money if I use it in magic as well, because sympathetic magic also attracts things that are like it. And then you have like some little more, I don't know, less similar sympathetic magic. So if we're trying to get around obstacles, for instance, a lot of times we'll use keys, because obstacles can be like doors, and doors can be locked, and that's when they become obstacles. And so if you want to open those doors, you can use a solution like a key. So I'm looking for solutions to get rid of obstacles. I can use keys as sympathetic solutions to bring solutions into my life. So that's kind of the basic system of the most common magic that you'll find in paganism these days. And I mean like modern Western paganism. I'm not referring to the old use of the word pagan, which is like everything that's not Christian. So almost the entire pagan system of witchcraft runs off of sympathetic magic. So I hope this has been a good explanation. I feel like I might have muddied things up a little bit at the end there, but hopefully I didn't, and you still have a pretty good idea of how things are working there. And hopefully when it comes to crafting your own spells or rituals or charms, you'll be able to find this video helpful in doing that. This is Nathara at CrowSong Lodge, and I will talk to you later. Oh, also, I'm supposed to remind you guys, hit the like and subscribe button if you like these videos. That helps me figure out what you guys are watching, what you guys like, and what I should do more of in the future. Also, it helps people see these, and I like the attention. Anyways, this is Nathara at CrowSong Lodge, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.